Today on the Sartorial Chef, it is dinner for one. First off, I am showing you how to take hot dog buns and make some gourmet garlic bread. Then next is a classic fettuccine carbonara with bacon and peas. And lastly, for dessert, it's a deconstructed tiramisu with a coffee mascarpone and chocolate croutons. Doesn't that sound delicious? So why don't you pull up a chair and dine with me? Alright everyone, we are once again at the market. I'm dining alone this evening, and I'm just grabbing a few things after work to throw together a very elegant but simplistic Italian feast. The first thing on my list is some hot dog buns. It's going to go into a deconstructed tiramisu, and I'm also going to be using them to show you a garlic bread hack. I'm thinking a classic carbonara tonight, and I am going to treat myself to some fresh pasta. Alright everyone, I have everything I need. I will meet you back in the kitchen. Welcome back to the kitchen, guys. It is dinner for one. Now usually I come home, I grab whatever's in the fridge, and I just throw it together and I'm done. Because I don't like to fuss when it's just me. Now when I have a big gathering or I have friends coming over, I go all out. But every once in a while, I like to treat myself to something nice. So today, for dinner, I am making me a classic fettuccine carbonara. Now carbonara, it's basically like a cream sauce. It has bacon in it and peas. And I'm just chopping up some bacon now. Now this bacon, we're going to fry it up. It's going to get nice and crisp. And what we're going to do, we're going to use the fat from that bacon to make a luscious cream sauce. Nice and cheesy and creamy. Going to be absolutely delicious. I splurged and picked up some fresh pasta. I'm going all out today. And then later on I'm going to show you a fun little dessert trick. So that is my bacon here. And I'm just cubing this bacon into nice pieces. Now, traditional carbonara, you use a pancetta, which is like an Italian bacon. It comes in around, it's a little thicker. Not everybody carries that, and it's a little more expensive, so regular bacon is just fine. I try to stay away from like smoked varieties or anything like that that's going to give it a different flavor. So that is just going to go right into my skillet. Nice hot skillet, and you can hear that bacon sizzling. Good and hot. Now to my water, I'm going to throw in a little salt. Not only does salt flavor your pasta, but it also helps your water boil faster. And while that's going, I'm going to get my garlic bread prepped. I'm going to show you a really fun garlic bread hack. Hot dog buns. I know you think I'm like totally crazy right now. But we're going to do a few things with these hot dog buns. I'm going to use them for a mock tiramisu later on. And I'm also going to use them for garlic bread. So, I'm going to separate these. And I'm going to use the tops. Now together, it looks like hot dog buns, yes. But once you separate it, not so much. And we're going to do some fun flavors here. some butter. I'm going to just spread this butter out. A nice, generous layer of butter on each. And also a little olive oil. This is just going to help it get nice and crispy. Drizzle just a little on top. And some garlic salt. And I'm actually going to pop this into my toaster oven, so I'm going to set it aside for now. Alright, this bacon is rendering down nicely. I don't know about you all, but there's something therapeutic about the sound of bacon sizzling. I just love it. And it smells amazing. Alright, to this bacon, I've also got a little garlic here. I'm just going to do about a tablespoon. This is just minced garlic. I want to add it in right before the bacon finishes because the garlic cooks quick and it's going to burn. So we're just going to let that go. Okay guys, our bacon is rendered down nicely. It's time to build our sauce. So basically we're making a roux here, which is usually butter and flour, but you can also use butter and fat. And that's going to be the base. And I've got a nice bit of fat in this pan here from the bacon. And I just need a couple tablespoons of flour. Dump that right in. And you want to be quick with this flour so it doesn't burn. We're just going to stir it into the fat here. And you just want to stir it. You don't want to cook it too long. You just want to cook out that raw flour taste. And what's going to happen is when I add the cream to this, it's going to thicken up and it's going to be a nice luscious sauce. So let's get this going. If you cook it too long, you get that burnt flour taste. So you want to get it just right. Make sure all the flour is broken up. And then we're going to add our heavy whipping cream here. And I'm just going to do about half this container. I'm going to save the other half for our dessert. So that's going to be a few cups. And we're going to stir that in. And what's going to happen is this flour mixture we made with the bacon fat, it's going to thicken up this cream. And it's going to become a nice, luscious sauce. I'm going to turn this down to a simmer. You don't want it too hot or it's going to burn. And you can see it's already getting nice and thick. I'm going to go ahead and add just a little more cream. A couple more tablespoons. In the meantime, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get my bread started. Alright, this is looking good. Now we're going to season this a little bit. We've already got some salt from the bacon, but I'm going to add just about a teaspoon more. I'm going to throw in some pepper here, about a couple teaspoons of black pepper. I'm going to stir that in. I also have here some mascarpone. I love mascarpone cheese. It's similar to a cream cheese. I think it's a little sweeter, it's a little creamier, easier to work with. And I'm just going to put in a nice couple dollops of that. I also have here a Parmesan blend, Parmesan Asiago Romano. You do about a cup of that. I want this to be nice and creamy and cheesy. It's going to be so good. And we're just going to stir that into our sauce here. Nice. This is coming together beautifully. Time to give it a little taste. Yum. Like a cheesy gravy. You get that nice richness from the bacon fat. So good. Last is our peas, but before we get there, my water is boiling and I am ready to throw in this pasta. Now there's a trick to fresh pasta. It only takes a couple minutes. 3 tops. So you want to be careful to not overcook it. Now I'm going to throw a little oil in here to keep it from sticking. You want to make sure you stir it too so it doesn't clump. Okay, now the sauce is ready. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Now I've got some frozen peas here. I'm only going to use about half this bag. And the frozen peas, what they're going to defrost in our sauce here. So you really want to put them in last. You don't want the peas to overcook. I like peas. What I like about the frozen peas, they have a nice crunch to them. Unlike a canned pea, which is kind of mush. Also, the green peas give it a nice color. Nice bright green color. And you can stir these in and they're literally going to just go in our sauce. And then we'll add our pasta and we will be ready to go. Alright, I'm going to test my pasta here. It's looking pretty good. Those nice, beautiful, long strands. It's good. I like my pasta a little al dente. Soft, but still has a little bit of a chew to it. I'm just going to drain this. And I can smell that garlic bread. It is ready to come out too, I believe. Now, we need a bowl. And a fork. Okay. I'm just going to throw my pasta right in here. I love to just throw my pasta into my sauce and let it finish off in the sauce. And then I'm just going to kind of turn this in here. And you can see the starches from the pasta, it clings to your sauce. That's why you never rinse it. And it just picks up all those beautiful flavors. Alright, that looks so good. Okay, I'm just gonna grab some of this. And this looks like a lot here, but I can put this up. This will be something I can eat on all week. I can come home from a long day and I've got dinner waiting for me right in the fridge. Okay, that looks good. Now let's check on our bread. Nice toasted garlic bread. What's great about this, the package of hot dog buns, $1. With my Savers card at the grocery, we're going to get 2 meals out of it. I've got garlic bread here for my pasta, and we're going to have our dessert too. So that is very thrifty, if I do say so myself. So, this is linguine carbonara. Let's give it a taste. Make sure we get everything here on this bite. Oh, it's so good. The sauce, nice and creamy and cheesy and luscious. Just melts in your mouth. And then you get those earthy, smoky notes from the bacon. And then you bite into those peas, and they just burst freshness in your mouth. So good. Now, for my garlic bread. Now, I love to like just get my garlic bread in there and soak up some of that sauce. You hear that nice crunch from the garlic bread? It's so good. Simple butter, garlic, salt. Bing, bang, boom, you're done. And it looks like fancy bread. No one would ever know hot dog buns. A nice, quick, easy way to have an elegant meal. Up next, I'm showing you a hack for a deconstructed tiramisu. So stay tuned. Alright everybody, it is dessert time. And I'm going to show you a fun deconstructed way to do a tiramisu. Now, a traditional tiramisu, it's with ladyfingers. You have to let them soak. And you make your cream. It's like a creme anglaise, which is like a vanilla ice cream base. It's very labor intensive. There's a lot to it. So I thought, why not take the classic flavors of a tiramisu and turn it into an easy, no-bake dessert. So I'm taking the rest of my hot dog buns here, and I'm just cubing them here. We're going to be making some chocolate coffee breadcrumbs. I know you're probably like, what is that? Well, you're gonna find out by the end of this here. So I'm just chopping these up. I've got my skillet going there. I'm going to be making a coffee syrup kind of drizzle. I've got some leftover coffee here from breakfast this morning. And I'm just going to pour that in this skillet here. I've been letting this skillet get nice and warm. I'm just going to pour the rest of that out because I'm going to let it reduce. Now to this, I'm going to be adding about a half cup of sugar. I just want to give it a nice whisk. I'm just going to let that sugar reduce down in the coffee, and it's gonna cook down and become kind of like a syrup. And I'm just going to let that go. It's going to come to a boil, and I'm going to bring it down and just let it reduce. Now for the bread here, I've diced up my bread. And I'm going to get my toaster oven pan out again. Now we're just going to open this up. I'll lay all these little pieces out. Alright, there's all my pieces. Now just like before, I've got some butter here. And I'm just going to lay some butter out on this. It's going to help it get nice and toasty. The other thing is, you know, ladyfingers, they can also be a little pricey too. So the hot dog buns are a nice substitute. And you're saving a lot of time by doing it this way. It may not look traditional, but it's going to taste just as good. And I feel like the deconstructed aspect gives it kind of a uniqueness to it. Okay, so that's the butter. Then I've got some cocoa here. just going to put my cocoa in the sifter here, and I'm just going to sprinkle it out. A nice generous helping all over these. Okay, that's good. These are going to go in the toaster oven on a medium heat for just a few minutes. They're going to get nice and crispy, and that chocolate's and the butter's going to melt, and it's just going to get nice and ooey gooey and just absolutely delicious. I'm just going to turn that about 3-4 minutes. Now, while our coffee continues to reduce, I'm going to work on our mousse. So instead of doing a traditional creme anglaise and mixing it in with the whipped cream and everything like that, I'm just going to do a coffee mousse. So I've got some heavy whipping cream here, about a couple cups. I'm going to use the rest of this container from earlier. To that, I'm going to add the rest of my sugar here, about a half cup, which is just about what I've got left in this container here. I'm going to give this just a little stir here. It's starting to bubble away nicely. Now to that sugar, I'm going to do a couple tablespoons of cocoa powder. I'm going to do about a teaspoon of instant coffee granules. That's going to really dial up those coffee notes. And then we're just going to give this a nice pulse. Trick to heavy whipping cream, you don't want to go too long because you're going to overmix it and it's going to get really stiff. But you want to go just long enough that you get those nice firm peaks. Just a little longer here. Alright. Now the trick to whipped cream, you know it's ready when you can turn the container upside down and everything stays in place. So we're going to set that aside for now. And this is looking really good. It's cooking down nicely. It's getting nice and thick. It smells really good too. I know some people don't care for the smell of coffee. I kind of do. It makes me think of morning. Let's check on our croutons here. They're smelling really good. I love the smell of chocolate baking. Okay, I think the croutons are ready to come out. And our sauce is still reducing nicely. It's really cooked down a lot, guys. It's going to be so good. Okay. Absolutely delicious. Nice, buttery, chocolatey croutons. Just gonna go ahead and give one of these a taste. And I like using the cocoa powder because you get those kind of bitter notes, which is going to play nicely with all the other sweetness we have going on here. So I'm going to turn this off, and we are ready to assemble our dessert. That is how quick it was. I've got, So I've got a fun little dish here. I thought we would just layer this up almost like an ice cream and have our toppings, and it'll be delicious. So I get a spoon here. I'm going to come in here and get some of this delicious cream. And I'm just going to spoon it right in. So good. Then we're going to take some of my croutons here. Really nice toasty pieces. And about three or four. That looks good. And let's see here. We'll come in here and get some of our coffee glaze. And here we are, a delicious mock tiramisu. Let's give it a little taste. So good. Nice and creamy. Delicious mousse. The bitterness from the chocolate croutons and that coffee drizzle really brings it home. Not quite a tiramisu, but tastes just the same and looks just as delicious. So once again, we've been dining with Sartorial Chef. Until next time.